So the first hack that we're going to do is called a Wi-Fi DAuth. I'll set the stage and talk about what we're going to do. So we've got 3 monitors. We've got a big monitor down there and this monitor here. Those are replicated, and those are going to be our threat actor. This monitor here behind me is the victim. So I'll tell you a little bit about how it's going to go. They're going to work in the background. So what XZavier has up here, this is called a Flipper Zero. Has anyone heard of this device? I can use it to open your car, most specifically if you have a Subaru. You can do it for all kinds of things. And one of the things it's popular for is Wi-Fi hacking. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. So the idea that we're going to do is we are going to perform a DAuth, which is a deauthorization. And so XZavier is going to start going through some stuff. And when we deauthorize this Wi-Fi network, when your computer is set up to automatically connect, when you get disconnected from your Wi-Fi, your computer automatically reconnects. When that reconnect happens, your computer is entering into a negotiation with the Wi-Fi router. And that communication back and forth, we're going to capture that because that has the password in it. So what you'll notice here is on our victim laptop, Sebastian's surfing the internet. He can get online. We have a ping. This is like an echo response Marco Polo going with Google to show that we're online. And you'll see that he's connected to the Wi-Fi network called Red Stack Internal. Okay, so now XZavier is going to start going through his process as the hacker, and he is going to execute a script, and that script is going to jam the Wi-Fi signal going to this laptop, this computer over here, 2 different computers. So what I expect to see over here is an interruption. It's not complete signal loss, it's just a blip. And so the user doesn't even notice it sometimes. I can do this when you're in your hotel room and I'm in a room down the hall. I can jam your Wi-Fi. I can jam the Wi-Fi to the whole hotel, wait for everyone to reconnect, capture those passwords, or possibly in this scenario, we could be sitting out in the parking lot and we know that this business has data that we're interested in. And so we can sit out in the parking lot and jam this signal. You can go ahead and run. And so right now, this little flipper, the light pops on here and it's going to work. It's banging on the signal of it's scanning every wireless network in this area. So when we're looking at it, I can see Team M, that's Team Rehabilitation next door. That's their Wi-Fi. Their Team Guest, you'll see Together We Thrive, TW Thrive next door. We can see all of these Wi-Fi signals. Okay, so now that he's scanned that, he's going to go find the Wi-Fi signal that he's interested in. We see Together We Thrive, Team Rehab, Spectrum. And so we're looking for, oh, you got a lot of Red Stack Internal. So it's Wi-Fi Network 28. So now he's going to go to Network 28 and he's going to start working on the signal. And like I said, we could buy this device, any of you could buy this device and have it in your house by tomorrow afternoon. And the instructions on how to do this are readily available on the internet. And so XZavier is going to run his script, and I expect to see this have an interruption. So this signal is not really going down all that much. Sebastian could still surf the internet and still do it because it's just hitting, letting go, hitting, let it go. It's reconnecting. And that reconnection is this EA poll. I know we're getting technical on some of this stuff and I can answer questions about that, but I want to show you that there is tech involved. It is tricky, but the how-tos are all out there. This can all be taught. And so the key here is that the handshake back and forth, there's 4 components to it. So we want to make sure we capture all 4 of these components. Nothing. So Sebastian on the internet, he's likely not going to really notice any difference. So imagine XZavier is out in the parking lot and he's doing this and Sebastian can still move around the internet. His pages still work. It may take a second to load a page if it's in between a reconnect, but ultimately it still works. So now XZavier has this file that he pulled down from these handshakes, these EA poll connections. He's going to run this to an online tool called Hashcat, and he's going to convert that file into a file format that the password cracker reads. So it successfully extracted the handshake, and now he's going to take this password, put it into this free tool that comes preloaded on this laptop, which is a free download from the internet. All of this stuff is free other than the super expensive $200 Wi-Fi jammer. And now he's going to run a crack on that file. What it's going to do is it's going to run through a word list. So there are thousands of word lists out on the internet, and you can find different ones that match what you're doing, and then you can add rules to them. And these rules will like concatenate files and try different cases and all of this stuff. And so when he loads this, go ahead and run it. He loads this, and he loads his word list of password.txt. It's got 1,083 rows of passwords in this file. And so this is a laptop. Now this can take a long time, it can take a short time. This all depends on how strong your password is, right? We talk about having strong passwords all the time, and the stronger, the longer. So, but this can all be improved on time based on how much resource you put behind it, right? So if we are and we're going after GM, we may take this file back to a server farm with 3,300 CPUs or GPUs, and we load them all up and they all attack this file at once. That can change something that might take 6 months and do it in 6 days. In this circumstance, we just have one lonely laptop doing the work here, but you'll see at the top, the CPU is pegged, right? It's giving it all of its resources and it's going to town. And I would expect that it'll get it in short order. And that's it. So now the goal here is that he is back at home in his lair, performing this task. He's not anywhere to be seen, nowhere in sight. And there you have it. The password to the Wi-Fi network is GoTigers25. Just like that.
Gotcha. Okay, business email compromise. That's the next hack that we're going to do. We're fixing to get started. Oh, I just brought out some Tennessee there, didn't I? Whoop, whoop. So let me set the stage. We've got 2 monitors over here. These are replicated. The monitor with the red text is the threat actor. The monitor over here on the left, this is
XZ.
This is the victim. So what we're replicating or creating here, and again, this is all live environment. This is the real thing. There's nothing fabricated. This email account, this is one of my email accounts. This is an M365 account, okay? And so this user is going to log into this mail account, and he's going to receive a message from HR. Oh. All right, hang on. Let me get my authenticator going. 83. So I'm using Microsoft Authenticator to validate my connection. As you can see, I went to log in. I was able to authenticate with my authenticator, and I'm in my email box. So I've got an email here from Human Resources, which is WageSphere registration guide. And as I go to this message and open it, I can see that there's information that I need to do. So I go to my benefits confirmation form. Okay, so what's happening here is I'm trying to log in, right? The magic is that we're logging into 365 Site Secure. And I want to point that out. It's really key because it's very similar to what Microsoft's sites are. But in fact, this is my site. So over here on this side, this is called an Evil Jinx server. And what you'll notice on the Evil Jinx server is that it already knows that we have a new visitor to our site. Now the Evil Jinx server, its role is to present 2 things. One is a fishlet. A fishlet is a canned fake website that looks just like the real thing. In this case, these canned websites, you'll see up here, we're using the O365. So we're mimicking a Microsoft O365 login. The second component, and you don't have to show it, but the second component to this is a lure. And so we link a lure to our fishlet, and that lure becomes the link, the URL that we want a user, or in our case, a victim, to go to. So, well, there's my password. There's my password. I have a authenticator request. Hold on a second. So now Sebastian's logging in with my authenticator. 13.
Another plug for Keeper Password Manager.
Number.
Keeper Password Manager.
It,
they also help sponsor this event.
So what you'll see is, in this circumstance, I had logged in over here and we saw my password in plain text, right? That's kind of an easy day. So we captured my username, we captured my password. That's great. But for all of you that think because you have MFA on your email, which I just authenticated, it's not enough. And that's what we're here to show you. So Sebastian here is in my Outlook. He logged in. So what he did was he went to the fake site, the fishlet, okay? And he logged in. The fishlet captured my login information, and then it pushed me to the real Microsoft website. And you'll notice, it's off, it left. Go to the apps page there for me. Went a little fast for me. So you'll notice on this apps, the URL is m365.cloud.microsoft.com. Looks very much like M365 Site Secure, right? M365 Site Secure is a website that I spent $7 on and bought. And then I spent another $20.
The domain?
Yeah, the domain. I bought the domain for $7, spent $20 on the Evil Jinx server, and I stood this up, and it's out there. We've actually, over the last week, had other visitors to the site, which is terrifying. So, what we're doing here. Now, we see that we have my Rich Miller. We captured the authentication information. But when we go to the sessions, all of this information down here, this is my token. This is my MFA token. It is the, I don't know what you call it, hash. It's the hash that my phone created to do this login. So the threat actor, who could be in Indonesia, China, Russia, wherever.
Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin, Ireland. We see that a lot. He's going to copy this information, and then he's going to go
or
to...
she.
He's going to go to his web browser. So what happens when he goes to his web browser? He says that he wants to import that cookie. He imports the cookie into his web browser. He goes to login.microsoft.com, pastes the cookie, and then refreshes his page. So convenient. Go to Outlook. Really easy. Really easy. So
Mic drop.
That whole process took 5-7 minutes. It takes another maybe hour to set it up correctly, maybe more, maybe less. That's right. So the threat actor in Dublin, Ireland was able to log into my 365 account with MFA that I authenticated on my phone. So when I go to that site, sure looks real to me. I mean, my phone buzzed. How could that not be real if my phone buzzed and I'm going on the site? So I put in my authentication information, but I don't know that it's a fake site, and I never know that because it then pushes me to the real thing. Once they're in my email, typically what we see is they are going to scour my messages, understand me, understand what I do, figure out whether or not I do financial transactions, figure out whether or not I tell people to do financial transactions, and they're going to most likely set up rules and redirect the rest of my inbound messages somewhere else where they can read them and I don't see that my message gets marked as read, right? So it's a copy of all the mail coming in. They leave an unread copy that I know it's not read, so it's all good, but they have a secondary copy and they're reading those. So they're watching all my inbound mail, they're scouring my mailbox, scouring my sent items, and then here's the telltale sign. The other thing that they're going to do is they're going to harvest my contacts, and they're going to send all of my contacts this form with that link, right? And so how many of you have said, oh, well, you know, Christine just called me and said that I sent her a PDF that says log in here, right? That's when you know this is what's happened. And so it's tricky for us to illustrate to businesses and leadership that when someone sends an email to themselves or they get an email from themselves with an attachment, what they don't realize is this is what's going on in the back end. They are in your account and they're doing what they want. Interesting?
Is there any way for them to know they are in their account?
No. Well, if you have the right tools, yes. So, good question. A couple of things that we do and that the software we use does, SaaS Alerts does, is in this circumstance, we would have flagged this as impossible travel. So the system would see that we logged in Livonia, Michigan, and then 7 minutes later, we logged in Dublin, Ireland. It would flag that as impossible travel and start isolating the mailbox. What's that? Yep, it'll see when we create new mailbox rules. We get notifications. I get a notification when anyone in my organization creates a mailbox rule.
I was going to say, we had a rule that monitored for this, and we had a client reach out and say, hey, I think your tool's broken. I'm getting all of these alerts into my mailbox. And we look at it closer and we're like, those are legit. Your entire organization was targeted, and these are all the people that are falling. These are all the people that are falling for the attack. So yeah, it was like, no, we're not going to turn this detection off because it's working. You need to start locking these mailboxes down.
Yeah, there are other methods of authorization. So what we lead with and what really combats this is defense in depth. It's layers of security. So yes, we believe in using MFA on your phone, but we also layer that with conditional access. We watch for that impossible travel. We say that your computer has to have X amount of software or tools or has to be in a certain location. We get flags, like we get a flag if someone from Ireland logs into any of our Cybersecurity clients, and then we investigate that. And I mean, there's been cases where it's like, yep, Bob's on vacation and he's working on vacation. It's legitimate. But there's other times where it's like, nobody's there. So yeah, defense in depth, layers, that's the best way you can do it. So this one is going to go pretty quick. This is short and sweet, but it's pretty cool. So what we're doing here is called command and control. This is where a threat actor will take control of your computer. And what we're illustrating is that this is really easy to do. And we've got some cool tools that do it. So command and control, it's ultimately what we call a reverse shell. So to set the stage, you guys good? All right, to set the stage, we are simulating why you don't plug USBs into your computer, okay? And especially a USB that you didn't go to the store and purchase on your own. How many people here, truly honest, raise of hands, how many people, if they found this USB laying on the floor that says 2025 payroll docs, how many of you would truly plug it into your computer to see what the docs are? Yeah, absolutely. I would. I gained administrative credentials one time on my work network, and the first thing I did was went for payroll docs. I'm sorry, I didn't actually do that. Okay, maybe I did. Well, poor practice, the administrator used my computer and left a trail. Anyway, so again, you find a USB drive laying on the ground. It says 2025 payroll docs. I actually have a really cool USB in my office that we intend to use for this in the future, and it's actually a Paychex USB. In this circumstance, we've got a sticky note on it. It says 2025 payroll docs. So, two computers. The one on the right is the unsuspecting user who has a strong interest in the corporate payroll. And the one on the left is the threat actor who intentionally left the 2025 payroll docs USB drive laying outside on the ground, just outside the employee entrance. So, who wants to know what happens when you plug this in? All right, let's plug in the USB drive. So it's not going to be all that crazy. You plug in the USB and all of a sudden, wait, what's going on? Well, you got to open up a file to see what's on it. I don't know, right? So you never know what's on a USB drive. You never know what's on there, even though it says one thing. So what happens is, on this side, the threat actor says, oh, I've got some action. Let me take a look at what's going on. So he sees that he's got someone that plugged in this USB drive, and what this USB drive did is it created a reverse connection from the laptop to the threat actor. And so then the threat actor can run a command. You're just going to execute the command. Yeah, it's that easy. So the threat actor from a remote location, nowhere near the laptop, is able to access this laptop. Yes, this is you at home on your couch doing that stuff that you do. And you're always wondering, can they see me on the camera? Yes. Yes, they can. This is a reverse shell command and control. This threat actor on this computer can do more than just look at the web camera. They can turn on the audio. They can scour your C drive. They can find all of your files. So not only will they see what you're doing when you go to those websites, they can see what you download, where you're storing all the stuff. Does anyone find this scary? Anyone gonna plug in random USBs anymore? Right? It doesn't matter what it says. Don't ever plug in a USB drive that you didn't go to the store and buy yourself. From a corporate policy perspective, what we do is we can restrict what USBs can be used on your network, and each USB has a signature, and we can actually, using our software, we would use Threat Locker for this, and using our software, we can say only USB drives with specific signatures can be even used in our network. And then we can write protect them and do all kinds of stuff to protect it. Okay, so on the small screen, we've got our user. Our user decides they want to surf the internet, they want to find a cool game. They find this totally awesome game called Words with Enemies. And they say, oh, wow, what is this? Well, first of all, there's hot singles in our area, which is cool. But this is 100% virus guaranteed safe, virus free, and the game's called Words with Enemies. And what's this game do? What's it about? So the game is tired of being nice online, exhausted from typing passive-aggressive responses to group chats. Welcome to Words with Enemies, the revolutionary game where you can unleash your inner rage and completely and anonymously without destroying any actual relationships. This sounds cool, right? Let's play. Let's play. Sebastian, we want to play this game. So we're going to download the game, Words with Enemies. And you know, if you inspect the site, it told you that it's 100% safe. So, yeah. And so we're going to install this game so that we can play it. And all of a sudden, we see how to recover data. This is bad. So this user just downloaded a piece of ransomware and executed it on their computer, and now it's going crazy, encrypting their files and data. And so this is actual ransomware. This is the real stuff. We pulled this down from the internet, and we pulled this down from the surface web, not the dark web. This is readily available on the surface web. You just have to go look for it. So this computer has been penetrated. And what we'll see here is this other screen. This is actually the server. This is the workstation. This is the server. And now the server, too, is infected. So it moved that fast from workstation to computer. Okay? And so of the 3 computers on the network, 2 of them are already infected. I assume the other one is. So at this point, the only option is to either A, recover from backup, if you have it, or B, pay the ransom. It is infected. So the 3rd laptop, too, is infected. And so what happens here is if you pay this ransom, they may or may not give you the data, right? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Right. And so we're running our EDR on the 3rd laptop.
Detection that we had for a data EDR ransomware policy. It's from the extension PRAY35 for the company Stack Cybersecurity.
Okay. What machine is it on?
It's on a machine stack-IT-OC-04.
Okay, we'll go ahead and investigate it, but this was just a test of ransomware for the EDR.
Yes, sir. Sorry. We were informed that you would be doing this test.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, kind of cool. That is our SOC. They operate 24/7. Question? Right. So the question was, what we had on the phone there was our SOC, Security Operations Center. They function 24/7 in the background. They run they're an application that runs on the laptop. And so the question was, what all happens? So in that circumstance, the EDR would recognize the ransomware, and it would immediately, if we set it this way, isolate the device. So when it goes from the victim's computer to the server, and as soon as it hits the computer that's running endpoint detection and response, it stops. It stops. The only way to mitigate it is to run endpoint detection and response or malware prevention software, and it will capture that activity. And so if you download, let's say you download cheap software, free software, Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes would pop up and say, hey, we detected ransomware. That's it. Nothing else. Endpoint detection and response takes action, right? And so it would say, I've detected ransomware, I'm stopping this computer's activity, and I'm going to let you know. So not only has it isolated the computer, if it sees it, it'll start looking really quickly elsewhere. It'll isolate the entire network. They're calling to tell us that they've just isolated the device, and this is what's happening, and how do we want to handle it? So the test for Rocket Cyber, which is our Kaseya product, it's a brand that we really rely on, the test for them was they had to detect when we ran this. We did tell them we were going to run it so that they didn't isolate our entire network, which they would do. But it's fast. And that Datto device is backing up your files and servers on a regular basis, and it is an immutable backup.
And so if you have regular backup and you don't have immutable storage, this would infect your backup and you would be screwed. You have to have immutable backup. And so this device right here is our Datto device for this network. And so if we wanted to, the boys aren't ready for it, so I won't put them on the spot, but we could recover this server and recover that workstation in about 5 minutes time using our BCDR device. What we'll do is we'll virtualize the server on the Datto while we rebuild the OS. And so we can do a bare metal recovery. And so the Datto device is immutable, and so it is protected. That cannot spread to it, even though it's on the same network. That's what we put together for you all as far as live hacks for the night. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you. The idea was I wanted you to see some of the things that you always hear are out there, but obviously you don't want to see them because it's a bad day. So we wanted to create an environment where we could show them to you, show you what it's like, show you what it does. I think it's pretty interesting. The team worked really hard on putting it all together, and good job. Good job.